Welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute devotional podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse. Broadcast from the ever-beautiful Sharonville, Ohio, on the sunny side of Cincinnati. Welcome back to Daily Dose Radio, your home for artisanal Bible study that's organic and fresh every single day. Well, today we're going to look at the second section, or at least begin the second section. We won't get through all of it. We're going to look at 6 and 7 today, but with the second section of the psalm I've entitled The Lord and the People, we have something similar, almost a mirrored effect that happens here in verse 6, and we'll talk about that in just a second. But I think I mentioned yesterday that verse 5 serves double duty. It's like a link in a chain. It's the end piece for the first section, but it serves as the beginning piece for the second section. The hills melted like wax before the presence of the Lord, at the presence of the Lord of the whole earth. What we have in verse 5 is the tetragrammaton, which ends the first section. It began it there in verse 1, the Lord reigneth, and then it ends it here in verse 5, the presence of the Lord. And that Lord there at the end is his name, the tetragrammaton. At the presence of the Lord of the whole earth. Now, Lord there, you'll notice, is not all in caps, because it is not the tetragrammaton, but it is the word Adonai. So Adonai is used here instead of the Lord's name, the tetragrammaton. Verse 5 is serving as the beginning piece for the next section. And I'm going to read verses 6 now and 7. The heavens declared his righteousness, and all the people see his glory. Confounded be all they that serve graven images, that boast themselves of idols. Worship him, all ye gods. That's verses 6 and 7. So the Lord, the hills are melting like wax at the presence of the Lord, and the heavens now are declaring the glory of God, declaring his righteousness. And notice, his righteousness is a repeat of what we have in verse 2, righteousness and judgment are the habitation of his throne. The heavens are now declaring that, and all the people see his glory. Now, I said we have this mirror image here in 6, because we have lightning enlightening the world, and the earth seeing and trembling. Now we have the heavens declaring his righteousness, that is, just like verse 4, the lightnings enlighten the world. The heavens declare his righteousness. You see, the earth can see the lightning light the world and tremble at the presence of the Lord, because they know who's the one that made the lightning. Here we have the heavens declaring his righteousness. There's something more for the people. They need to understand who he is. He is a righteous God. All the people see his glory. So they're seeing something in the heavens that declare the righteousness of God. And that's exactly what we had in Psalm 96. You know, that all of those things declare the glory of God and call us to worship him. Verse 7, confounded be all they that serve graven images, that boast themselves of idols. Worship him, all ye gods. Notice again, verse 7 kind of gives us more information about verse 3. A fire goes before him and burns up his enemies. Who are the enemies? Those that are serving graven images, because they're doing it not in righteousness and not in judgment. There's no truth there. There's no holiness there. So the Lord's not present there. His presence isn't seen in idols, but all they that serve graven images and boast themselves of idols, those are the enemies that will be devoured, unless they repent and turn to the Lord. Worship him, all ye gods. So even the gods of the people, which are not gods at all, they're just images. They're vain and imaginary things. But even the vanity of man is called now to bow before the Lord who reigns. So everything real and everything imagined is requested now to bow before the Lord who reigns, just like the earth that trembles. Okay, join me tomorrow for verses 8 and 9. You don't want to miss tomorrow now on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. I'm David Smith. The music today has been performed by the Bluegrass Experiment. Thanks again for listening. I'll see you next time on Daily Dose Radio.